Hi guys, I have to show you this. Now I'm into buying random things sometimes, hobby things, building them up. Now this thing I have built previously and pulled it back apart again because I ran out of space. We had loads of stuff. I already had a mountain bike, I'll show that in another video. I took a retro 1998, one of the first aluminium downhill mountain bikes, and tarted it up a little bit. I just had my little kid had a motorbike brand new. There was too much space. All the space was taken up with just too much of my junk. And this is what I bought anyway. I went online and I was checking about, and I come across an engine kit you can stick on a bicycle. And I thought, yeah, I seen a guy years ago when I was little. His was like a homemade thing, and he ran it. And when I seen the engine in the kit, I thought, that's it, that was the exact engine. It turns out it's a replica of a Russian engine it was made. And the Chinese obviously copied everything. They send a nice little booklet showing how all the different types there is and all the different engine kits there is. This is the kit that I got right here. I thought I could check that out. I could see if that would actually work. It would be like a little model kit, and I'd get to build it, have a bit of fun. So I eventually did. I did stick it all together on a bike. I'll pull it over here. And we'll go through each box at a time. It'll give us a bit of space. I've added a few things in that ding ding. I added a few things in as I got the kit. But yeah, that's like a coil pack. I mean, absolutely everything is in this kit. It is amazing. Oh, there's some bolts. That's the U-clamp that holds the motor onto the actual bicycle frame. Clamp goes around the tubular frame, goes into this piece of metal, and the bolts from the engine go into this piece of metal as well, so ties it onto the frame. You've got the petrol tank, wicked old style petrol tank. I don't know if they were any good, but I knew you couldn't tighten the bolts underneath very much, or you risked ripping them loose of where they were basically spot welded underneath. And here these would separate from the tank and start leaking, and not good since the tank's pretty much directly above the hot little engine. But yeah, I was surprised, like the more parts I started pulling out the pack, I was like, oh my god. If that was in the UK and you ordered a sprocket to be made, you'd be paying at least 80 quid. Yeah, it's not made of excellent good stuff, but I'm amazed at some of the stuff that came out of the box. Again, I only paid, if you're lucky, 50-60 pound. And then here you've got your sprocket with all your mounting bolts and your little rag joints for basically you cut one so that you can stick it inside the wheel and wrap it around the hub, and your bolts go through either side. Clamp it onto the actual spoked wheel, which is kind of dangerous. You get the torque twists the spokes and could actually just rip them out of place, so you get a upgrade sprocket that bites onto the hub inside the wheel and then extends through the spokes, and then you put the plate on. So a lot better design. There we go. Carburetor, full carburetor set. That's still all linked to the clutch. That is because I've had it built up. 415 chain. I mean, that's no sissy chain. Not a super strong, good quality chain, but it's more than ample to do the job. I know they stretch a lot, but you get 420 chains that would go on it. actual bit that got me was how much you could actually get for your money. This is the throttle body housing, all the wires, the throttle, dunk that in there, spark plug. I mean, absolutely everything to run it. Absolutely everything. Cool little engine. Make sure you guys are seeing that. Yep. 2-stroke engine. They say it's 80cc, but the size of the piston and the gap on the top, it's definitely 66cc. But still, it's got a grunt. I mean, that thing, once you get it going, it's a funny piece of equipment. Like when I checked it up, I thought, yeah, that can't be real, man. Ordered it. See, when it arrived here, I was amazed. See this, for $60, I was just dumbstruck. And then all this other stuff. I've still got stuff to show you. There's a full carburetor. I mean, this is not stuff that's poured out a single mold. I mean, this stuff takes loads of putting together. They're in like 12 bits to this whole engine. I mean, the amount of manufacturing and processing they would have to do is mad. Again, it's all made out of butter metal, Chinese butter metal, so you can't be expected to be driving about like a Harley 7 days a week, but this thing will light up, take you for a blast. What a laugh. And since using it, it's not scorched much. The head's changed a whitey colour, but yeah, I never used it much, only got a quick couple of shots with it. But wicked kit for all that you get with it. For $60 you can turn pretty much any mountain bike, because now the bracket I showed you that was like this, that holds it onto the bike. Some bikes, and a lot of bikes, like my bike as well, has got a rectangular frame and they don't fit, so there's all sorts of clamps that are made now that fit back onto the bolts under the engine, so everything ties in correctly. It's got electric, it's got kill on the throttle, the engine kill. You can upgrade the air filter and stuff. I already started getting levers and other levers to put in with it, but this is the clutch. You pull this down and push the pin in. It engages. Oh, hold on. It engages, and then you're pedaling your bike. You don't have to go fast, you just get it moving, and as you do, you're able just to pull this in and that pin will pop by itself, and as you let it out, it just bites. It feels like you've put the brakes on a bit, and then you keep pedaling and it just kicks in. Wicked, absolutely wicked. Yeah, we'll shove this in here. Totally amazed that you could turn any bike into a motorbike, basically. But there's loads of talk about different sprockets that you can have on it. So like if you're a heavier rider, you might need a different sprocket to help get it to the speed it needed to go to. Or if you're a medium weight rider and you want to ride it uphill mainly, it's again another kind. So if you want top speed and torque, obviously it's two opposite gear counts. So whether you want yours for torque or whether you want yours for speed, you set it up slightly differently. Some people who want the speed get a thing called a Fred head, which is a really beautiful solid billet aluminium piece that Fred cuts himself. Does a lot of work on porting the pistons and stuff. The guy's good, he's online everywhere. Fred Chalminski. Oh. I've had a mishap on this one. But yeah, as I said, I pulled out the engine. Here's the other grip. They're a bit tacky. They could be done with being replaced. and this is the chain rail that bites onto the one of the back rails on your bike. You attach that there and have the chain run up, pull it so it has to ride up over it, and then that stops any lashing about and jumping off the sprockets because it's whipping about. It kind of keeps it in line. But yeah, as I opened it and pulled the engine out, I was just dumbstruck at that would cost $60, and then to be pulling stuff out like this little exhaust, it feels like a quality little piece. It's probably not. Things like a bloody Christmas decoration. But yeah, I've had it together, I've had it running. There's a rust around the clamp where it's obviously been cooked when I drove it. You get loads in it. You even get the chain guard. So this here mounts onto the engine, like there's a hole here, but it bolts onto the back of the engine part. You can run it to wherever you want and put in a like a zip tie or a jubilee clip just to hold it wherever you want, just to stop any of your like trousers or clothes being pulled into the chain or rubbing against you. Excellent, man. This is just other levers that I put in that I plan to hook up. But yeah, all this in a kit, all of it, and $60 sent to your door, everything you need bar the petrol. And no joke, like people were saying, yeah, but they won't start, they're rubbish, and I put my petrol in, I was expecting to tug it at least 10-20 times before it would start to get going again. Not as soon as that fuel hit it, bang, ignite. It was rumbling while I was pedaling, but it was instant. And when it came on, smoky, very smoky. First time lighting up a two-stroke. And I'd already put two-stroke down the spark plug hole, a little bit of two-stroke, so that when I was cycling the engine, trying to get it going, it lubricated it, didn't score the barrel. But yeah, there's lots of different varieties. You can get them in 4-stroke. The 2-stroke, I'd definitely say don't rush and go get the 2-stroke. But if you go watch some videos of the 2-strokes, what a laugh. But if you're heading near any kind of hill, it's just flat out obvious you would have to take the 4-stroke, because these things here, like the weight of the engine, you think, oh, it's alright, when I get the hill I would just pedal. Yeah, it's like pedaling, but with a baby bear attached to your bike. The engine's kind of light to pick up with one hand. It's not super heavy, but yeah, you feel it in your legs when you're trying to pedal, when you've got a little bit of tug from the chain, just a little bit more weight. But most hills that you see that you think, oh no, here we go, here's a hill, bike makes it up easy. Absolutely easy. And it's excellent. Like for $60 you literally got a motorbike. I mean, if you're out in the middle of nowhere, by all means you want one of these. This would be a laugh. If you need to get from A to B nearby and you're like off-road and you're only cutting a couple of miles across through fields and stuff, this is the tool for you. Like, definitely. Be wicked as everybody's first motorbike. It's just a case of pulling the clutch in. So you'd obviously, like, you don't want to set your brakes up in a way that you just want to pull the brakes when you're driving. You want to pull the clutch in and then the brakes. Because if you're still trying to drive forward with the back wheel and you pull the brake and the front brake activates as well, it's going to make the front brakes skid. And that happened to me a couple of times, where I was slowing down and putting back on power again, but all of a sudden I had to come back off the power. And there was one time there was somebody coming through a gate. I didn't realise the gate was closing, so I went to move over, realised there was a gate coming over on me, and moved back over the other way. Pulled the brakes and the front wheel was sliding over and the bike was still pushing forward, so that was a bit of a heart stopper. But yeah, you soon learn to pull the clutch in. It's just like a normal motorbike, but if you've never ridden a motorbike, yeah, you have to pull the clutch in and then pull the other lever. It's better to have the lever that runs 2 brakes into one, and then you can set them up so there's a little bit of front brake and a lot of back brake, and then it's easier on the braking, so if you hit gravel you're not just going to slide out from underneath you. But yeah, $60 and a full kit to make a motorbike. You can't knock that. When I was younger I would have loved that, but I was a bit older and I just wanted to take on the challenge of building it to see how it come. But to be honest with you, it was too easy. There was no problem to overcome. Trying to get the sprocket on the back with bigger hands, trying to get in between the spokes. Yeah, that was a bit annoying until I realised I could use the socket screwdriver and it reached right inside, problem over. It was even better when I used the extension and stuck it in the drill and zipped them right up. But it was just trial and error, but everything else, no, straightforward. It come out, you knew where it was to go, you took the bolts out, you tried to put it where it went, it goes there straight away. You just got to cinch everything up and set everything where it needs to be and tighten everything down and see that it's staying in line as you tighten it. Everything's straightforward. Putting the clutch on, pushing it in a bit, tightening, snugging the bolt in, gets the clutch wire in, and everything just worked. It just went on straightforward. Started up perfectly, ran fine. Everybody knocks the Chinese, but I tell you, I've had a few hobby interests from these guys, and what a laugh. Everything seems to turn out the way they say. We've had everything from RC cars, fancy Chinese drones, and everything has just worked, man. I've got tools there, what the Harbour Freight stuff, that probably is what China version drill press. Excellent tool, never failed. Got a few other tools there, never ever failed. But yeah, anytime you go and mention the name of them, people's like, no, you want to get DeWalt, you want to get this, you want to get that. You have to get Makita. Aye, right, and it breaks 13 months later or something, the screw. But I'm telling you, I've had a lot of luck with Chinese stuff. I have had lots of shady things happen. I've had things that appeared that wasn't what they said they were, and it was just a total con. But it speaks for itself. You're getting, if you priced every piece of this in this kit and you'd got any of it or all of it from the UK, I can guarantee you wouldn't have a £60 price bill for everything there. You'd be talking hundreds, absolutely hundreds. You'd be paying more than £60 for delivery of this thing. But yeah, this gets a thumbs up from me, and in the summer this will be rebuilt. We'll try to find ways of sticking it on a go-kart or something for the kids, because at full power it's nothing. You pretty much need to be on, not smooth flat ground, but until you build up power you do. So it's not an excessively powered thing. They can be modified to rip. They can rip down the road at 50 mile an hour once they're modified, but do you want to be going 50 mile an hour on a mountain bike that's got a sticker on it saying no stunting or jumping? I don't. But for scooting about up to 30 mile an hour, it's a funky little thing, man. You're just sitting on your bike chilling, it's flying down. Definitely a hobby. If you're looking out for a hobby for the summer, give that a bash, man. All you need is like a usual standard style mountain bike with a V-shaped frame, you know, the diamond shaped frame. Just standard mountain bike. The tubes, it's more designed, the gap on the back of the engine is more designed to slot perfectly onto the old fashioned thin tube ones, mountain bikes. That's how the shape, the concave bit under the engine's designed to just fit round that frame. And on the bigger bikes, because they've got bigger tubes, they won't fit in that indent. Although you can get a U-bolt around the tube's just way too big to sit into the groove on the engine. So there's a plate. The plate gets bolted to the engine, and then the U-bolt comes up and bolts into the back of the plate. So there's lots of fitments and lots of size U-bolts and lots of plates with the same holes drilled through them to fit all sorts of bikes. But my advice is, if you want it to run sweet as a nut, I would definitely put it on a older style mountain bike, like a retro, really retro, thin tube mountain bike, made of steel. Would have to be made of steel. I mean, these things, when they start tugging, they've got a bit of power, man. They pull spokes and everything. So if you're planning on building one of these, I'd definitely suggest that you get the hub adapter that clamps onto the hub and extends through the spokes and takes the sprocket on the outside. That's a much better way to do it. More stable, you can put more power into the wheel, your wheel won't mangle apart. You can also get like higher grade spoke wheels. Don't have to buy them, man. You can find bikes that are just ditched flat tires and stuff, and notice they've got high spec wheels on them. Scores! Finders keepers. But yeah, an absolute worthy hobby. Give it a blast this summer. I'd love to see your videos, man. I went through loads of videos before I bought it, and what a laugh. I couldn't believe it. And when I went to build it, believe it or not, it only took, I would say, the first hour was just messing about, pulling all this stuff out and just getting it in its right place and getting the bike ready. Stripped the bike down and I'd already had that done, and I just pulled everything around it, sat down, and when I got set to it, it didn't even take an hour and a half to fully complete the bike. So that goes to show you, like, I do tinker about with bikes, always have, but it just shows you in a time space how quick this actually goes together, man. There's nothing to it. It really, it's one of those, a monkey could do it kind of things. It's, everything fits in its own place. And if you struggle, it's not hard to see how to make something work. But all the wires fit, everything works. Good laugh, really good laugh. So yeah, I recommend the motorised bicycle kit, 80cc, which is really a 66cc. Yeah, you guys should check it out online. What a laugh. I'll have mine up this summer. I'll throw it on something. I'll have a giggle. Thanks a lot for joining me, guys. Bye.